his first big league home run, 443 feet worth, finishing up 2 for 5 with 2 stolen bases. His roommate in Oklahoma City, Corey Seager, in his second big league game, didn't do too badly either. 2 more hits and another RBI. The veterans held up their end of the bargain too. Carl Crawford hitting .346 over the past 3 weeks, cracked his 3rd home run of the season. Pinch hitter Justin Ruggiano hit a 2-run shot, while Adrian Gonzalez cracked his 26th, and Chase Utley went back-to-back while hitting his 2nd home run in the past 3 games. The Dodgers, winners of 9 of their last 11, are now firmly in control of their own destiny with just 28 games left in the regular season. It's a beautiful day for baseball, and live from Petco Park in San Diego, Sportsnet LA presents the Los Angeles Dodgers and the San Diego Padres in Game 3 of this 4-game series. Hi again, everybody. Charlie Steiner, Nomar Garcia-Parra, Oral Hershiser. So now there are 28 games left in the season. The Dodgers a season high 7.5 in front of San Francisco, 8 in the loss column, 13 stolen bases by the Dodgers over the past week, most in baseball, plus the power, 162 home runs, the most in the National League. Right now, offensively, firing on all cylinders.
They are, and that's one thing they've done all year long is had the long ball going. They hit 5 home runs yesterday, which was a season high. But what was impressive to me is that it came from everybody. Over 46% of their runs scored this year have come by way of the long ball. But it isn't just one person. I mean, you even have guys that just got traded over here. Chase Utley, for example. You got guys who are called up. Scott Schebler, Justin Ruggiano supplying the power. So the power has come throughout the entire lineup. And the one guy leading the team in home runs, he's only has 26, which ranks ninth in the National League. So it is a full team effort. They're doing the job right now offensively. What did they have to do pitching-wise?
Well, pitching-wise, Alex Wood has a chance today to solidify himself as the 4th starter in this rotation. We get to the playoffs. There is Greinke, there's Kershaw, there's Anderson, but they're going to need a 4th. And Alex Wood is the guy. He's 500 over his career. He's 500 this year, 9-9, including the starts with Atlanta. He's a ground ball monster. He has dominated left-handed hitters, but he has to keep the ball down and get the ground ball with the right-handed hitters. The Dodgers love him. He is such a competitor.
Andre Ethier back in the lineup this afternoon. He's got 13 home runs on the season. We're going to take a break. When we come back, Alana Rizzo checks in. Dodgers and Padres getting ready to play. The Dodgers begin play tonight 7.5 in front of the Giants. Only Kansas City in the American League Central Division has a bigger lead now with 28 games left. Our closed captioning is brought to you by Papa John's. Better ingredients, better pizza. So the Dodgers sitting pretty, and Don Mattingly's put this batting order together. Brought to you by Honda. Jimmy Rollins is riding a 4-game hitting streak, and so is Chase Utley. Adrian Gonzalez with the home run last night. Turner back in the lineup at third. Ethier has been at it since Wednesday. He's back. Fouled one off the knee. Carl Crawford red hot in left. Yasmani Grandal is ice cold behind the plate. Jock Peterson struggling in center. Alex Wood is pitching and batting ninth against the 28-year-old right-hander Tyson Ross.
And you can see Tyson Ross's record there, 10-9, but coming off his last start where he went 7 innings and only allowing 3 hits and no earned runs. He'll feature a fastball that goes in the mid-90s, a slider, cutter, and just an occasional changeup. But the key to Tyson Ross is really his fastball that has sinking action. He gets a lot of ground balls. He's 3rd highest ground ball percentage in the major league, so it's all about the sinker. So in order to combat that, try to get him up in the zone so it can flatten out.
A couple of issues about Tyson Ross as Jimmy Rollins is making his way to the plate. He has allowed 34 stolen bases this year. Only John Lester, who's given up 41 with the Cubs, has surrendered more. Tyson Ross also leads the National League, having given up 74 walks, and the Dodgers are second in the league in receiving walks. So walking and running could well be a big story against Ross tonight, as Rollins fouls it, or foul tips it. It's 0-1. So it'll be Jimmy Rollins, Chase Utley, and Adrian Gonzalez. Rollins at 220. And a fly ball into right, and Kemp is there. So Matt Kemp is in right. Will Myers, who started at first base the other night, in center. He's just back off the disabled list. Upton in left. Solarte and Barmes on the left side of the infield. Jerko, who's been playing some short, is at second. Derek Norris, normally the catcher, at first, and Austin Hedges is behind the plate as Chase Utley steps in. Utley in his 14th game with the Dodgers hit his 2nd home run in the last 3 days. 2 home runs, 4 runs batted in since coming to L.A. 220 on the year. Ross delivers inside and low, 1 ball, no strikes.
Chase has been hot since he's back off the DL, and Tyson Ross loves to throw his fastball to both sides of the plate, loves to jam hitters, and the way the Dodgers have been hitting the home run ball, might see them pick on a few inside fastballs from Ross, cheating on that ball in there as he starts to establish that he'll come in there.
176 strikeouts, but 74 walks. Chase Utley finds a seam on the left side of the infield, and he's now got a 5-game hitting streak.
That was a ball, the sinker, tailing away from a left-handed hitter. Chase Utley just taking it back up the middle on the shortstop side, doing a good job. Now Adrian Gonzalez coming off hitting a home run yesterday where he took that ball to the opposite field to left center and really drove it when he was behind in the count.
So you see Gonzalez's big numbers this year against the Padres in 14 games. So Adrian on the year at 281 with his 26 home runs. And he takes a strike. It's 0-1. Gonzalez 81 RBIs on the year, ranks 8th in the league, 9th in the league with 30 doubles. Turner on deck. And Gonzalez fouls it off.
Beautiful sunlight casting itself over the right side of the field, but the second baseman and the right fielder, Matt Kemp, are going to have to deal with that glare at first here early in the game.
Yeah, I don't think they think it's beautiful right now, but you're right.
From up there, it's gorgeous.
Great.
78 degrees at game time. Picture perfect on this Saturday afternoon as Gonzalez slices it foul off to the left and out of play. Padres at 65 and 70, 11.5 behind the Dodgers. They've lost 9 of their last 12, while the Dodgers have won 5 of their last 6, 9 of their last 11, and now the magic number is down to 21. Giants and Rockies, second inning in Colorado, no score. And Gonzalez pops it up. Solarte, the third baseman.
That's the pitch right there that I think Tyson Ross, he likes to throw, and as the Dodgers go around the second time around in the lineup, they show this fastball in there. A few of the hitters I know are going to start looking for that, the hole at bat, because it's juicy if you're looking for it.
Wants a new ball. As Justin Turner makes his way to the plate. Turner at 292 with 15 home runs and 52 runs batted in. But since coming off the disabled list, those last 19 games have been a problem. 169, a couple of home runs. That staph infection took quite a lot out of Justin Turner. Utley has 3 stolen bases on the year. The Dodgers in the last 2 weeks are 13 for 13 in stolen bases. Stole 3 last night. They've stolen more bases in the last 2 weeks than any club in baseball. And for the longest time, they had the fewest stolen bases. A little roller to second base, and Jerko will throw out Turner, and that'll do it. No runs and a hit, the single for Utley. We'll go to the bottom of the first. Alex Wood getting ready for his 27th start and his 7th with the Dodgers. Got Hervis Solarte leading it off. He has been on base in 7 of his 9 plate appearances against the Dodgers in the first couple of games of the series. Jerko at second, and Matt Kemp hit his 200th home run the other night. Justin Upton, Derek Norris, and Will Myers in center. Austin Hedges is behind the plate. Clint Farmas at shortstop. Tyson Ross pitching and batting ninth against the 24-year-old left-hander Alex Wood.
Since coming over to the Dodgers, 2-3, you see the 9-9 overall record. He has dominated left-handed hitters, but today against the Padres, all righties against him, so he's going to have to get them out, and that's going to be mostly his fastball and his curveball. He does have a changeup, but it's his 3rd best pitch.
Pitching on 6 days rest, and what does that mean?
Little extra adrenaline, a little more arm strength. Don't be a thrower, still be a pitcher. Worry about location.
Solarte takes a strike, and it's 0-1. Were you more comfortable one way or another on X number of days of rest?
I just really altered my side works to make sure I had the right energy level. A few more pitches in the side works in between if you had more rest. Maybe you'd do 2 side works instead of only 1. But most of my life it was on short rest, Charlie.
And it still is, isn't it? Jerko on deck and Kemp to follow. The 0-2. Solarte down on strikes. So Alex Wood with 119 strikeouts in 151 innings. Opposing hitters hitting .283 against him.
The lefties overall for the whole year about .233. Right-handers just under .300. So this is a challenge for him here today.
Now here's Jerko with the home run last night in the 3rd inning. Upstairs and outside, 1 ball and no strikes. 8 home runs hit between these two clubs last night, 5 by the Dodgers. Jerko's got a dozen home runs on the year, and he takes a strike. It's 1-1. Kemp is on deck. And a strike on the outside corner.
Well, one thing the Dodgers know about Alex Wood and absolutely love before they acquired him is his competitiveness. He's just one of those guys that doesn't melt down, can pitch in traffic.
Call strike 3. Well, he struck out the first 2 batters of the ball game. Carl Crawford in left field tonight for the Dodgers. Jock Peterson is in center. Andre Ethier back in the saddle and right. Turner and Rollins, Utley and Gonzalez in the infield. Grandal behind the plate. And so Schebler and Seager, who had such good nights last night, will be watching their seniors. 2 out, nobody on. And Matt Kemp stepping in. Kemp's had a terrific second half of the year, struggled in the first half, much like last season. Takes outside and low. 1 ball and no strikes. Kemp with his 89 RBIs is 3rd in the league, and there's a strike. Dodgers have won 9 of the 14 games against the Padres this year. And Kemp with a 2-out single into left. He beat the shift with a scorcher.
It's always easy to critique the shift. You know, he hit it right into it. But if you're not in the shift, this is probably right at the shortstop. But since you have 2 guys over there, you're not really in the normal position. And he hits it right where Jimmy would be playing if they were playing what would be culturally normal.
Yeah, but for Matt Kemp, coming into this game, he had a 24-game on-base streak, and he just increased it to 25.
Here's Upton, who has struggled this year against lefties. A free agent in a few weeks. 24 home runs, 73 runs batted in. Took the collar last night. 4 at-bats, struck out twice, and takes low and outside. 1 ball and no strikes.
It'd be interesting to see what the Padres do next year. Do they retool again, or do they rebuild?
Well, they went all in this past winter, and a lot of folks were surprised at the trade deadline. They did little or nothing in trying to refurbish the franchise for this year. Now they get to look ahead. 2 balls, no strikes to Justin Upton.
I'm sure that'll be an ownership decision to pass down to the baseball gurus.
Upton at .283 against the Dodgers this year. Little squibber to second base. Utley will throw him out, and that'll do it. So Wood strikes out 2, gives up a hit. Padres leave 1. Ethier, Crawford, and Grandal coming up for the 2nd. SNLA Data Strong fan, and you just might see yourself in an upcoming telecast brought to you by T-Mobile. In Colorado, the Giants are hitting in the top of the third, and they've got a 1-0 lead on the Rockies. Peavy pitching for the Giants tonight. Bettis for the Rockies. Will keep you up to date. Here is Andre Ethier. Fouled one off his knee on Wednesday. Had to sit it out a couple of nights, and he is back at .293 with 13 home runs and 42 runs batted in, and has had a good season against the Pods. Crawford and Grandal to follow. And Ross delivers a strike. Interesting note about the Padres. This is their 136th game, and every game has been started by a right-handed pitcher. Only Milwaukee has not had a left-handed starter go. Pat Murphy, they're 33-36 under him after Bud Black was fired with a 32-33 record. Ethier into the right field corner. Kemp picks it up, and Ethier arrives at second easily. Angel Pagan has just hit a home run for the Giants. They have a 2-0 lead in the top of the third.
Well, if we're wondering how Adrian's knee might be feeling, well, this is a good start. Gets a double down the line, so the swing looks good, and he also ran the bases pretty well.
So the Dodgers with a runner in scoring position. 16th two-base hit for Ethier. Carl Crawford coming up, and Crawford has been red hot. He's 8 for 15 with 3 doubles against Tyson Ross. So the Dodgers looking to draw first blood. Outside, 1 ball and no strikes. Since August the 28th, Crawford is 9 for his last 26. That's a .346 clip. And the Dodgers have won 6 of 8 during his hot streak. Rolls it foul.
Trying to move him over. Looking for that ball in the inner half. He also saw by the swing. It wasn't a big swing. It was just one of those where he was almost guiding it, trying to get the ball to the right side. Yesterday he came up in this situation and was unable. He had a comebacker back to the pitcher. Wasn't able to move the runner over.
He hit his 3rd home run of the season in the first inning last night. 1 ball, 1 strike. Ethier short lead at second. And now it's 1-2. The Dodgers this year are 54-14 when they score first. A .794 winning percentage. Only the Pirates, Cubs, and Cardinals have a better winning percentage when they score first in Major League Baseball. They're 40 games over 500 when scoring first. On 1-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
With that kind of performance, you got to think that they really want to try and get Ethier over and get that run in.
And want to get Grandal well. Yasmani in a prolonged hitting slump. Ethier at second base following the leadoff double here in the second. Ball, strike 3.
That was a really good pitch. That one just froze Carl Crawford on the inner half. It started off as a ball in the inside corner, and with that tail and the movement that Tyson Ross has, it just comes back and catches the corner.
Yeah, so far to lefties like Adrian Gonzalez, he's been going in there with the 4-seamer. So Carl watching that from the bench and then the on-deck circle. You didn't see the 2-seamer in there like that.
Grandal is really struggling. Hasn't had a hit since August 16th. 1 ball and no strikes. Last night, 0 for 3, struck out 3 times and walked once. Thursday night, 0 for 2, 2 strikeouts, 2 walks. And it's outside. 2 balls, no strikes.
Don Mattingly in his media scrum today gave him a vote of confidence to Yasmani Grandal, saying, you know what, he can get 2 hits tonight. He'll get hot. We've got to get him going. No chance, no time now to make a change to A.J. Ellis, even though he's swinging a hot bat.
Well, with a day game tomorrow, we may well see A.J. Grandal fouls it into the dirt. Meanwhile, Ellis, when given the opportunity, hit very well lately. Brett Anderson tomorrow. First pitch about 10 past 1 against Andrew Kashner. And then 3 days in Anaheim. Off day Thursday, next weekend in Arizona. On 2-1. 3 balls and a strike.
It's a good take right there. That ball is one of those that's up and it's borderline, and when you know you're pressing, you know you're struggling, you have a tendency to swing at that one. So now you're in a hitter's count. You're hoping, okay, you're telling yourself, just keyhole it, make sure it's a good pitch, and let it go. Trust yourself.
Ball 4. Or was he hit by a pitch? He was hit by a pitch. So Ethier has to return to second base.
A breaking ball here. Cutter comes in and gets him on the right calf. Get enough bumps and bruises behind the plate being a catcher. Now you're getting hit as a hitter.
Bonus coverage.
And they always seem to find a way to miss the protected guard that you're wearing. So even as a catcher, you're like, got the shin guard, the chest protector, they foul one off, and it finds that one little area. There he had the shin guard on to hit, and it looked like it missed that one too.
Peterson 4th in the league with the 83 walks, and Tyson Ross has walked more batters than any pitcher in the league, 74 of them. First and second with 1 out. Peterson takes a strike. Jock at 210 since the All-Star break, hitting just 157. 18 hits and 114 at-bats. So it's been a rugged second half of his first big league season. Inside. 1-1. Alex Wood on deck. Now it's the Rockies' turn to hit in the third. Giants with a 2-0 lead in Denver. Including tonight, 28 games remain. 1-1. Inside and low, 2-1. Ross retired the Dodgers on 10 pitches in the first inning. Already 16 here in the second. Alex Wood cruised through the first, needing but 13 pitches to retire San Diego. The shift is on for Peterson, who takes high and inside, 3-1.
Well, you talked about the keyholing and the way Jock's been struggling. He needs to get a strike right here, but you know, hitting in the 8-hole with the pitcher behind, you might cut it loose with a little wider range.
A little bigger keyholes, you're saying?
Yeah. More like just a strike.
Yeah. That's definitely should be going through your mind.
3-2. That's not going to win any friends in the umpiring community.
And I don't think Jock does this on purpose to show up the umpire. I just don't think he sees this pitch come back. He gives up on it a little early, and Ross has been throwing the 4-seamer in there and the 2-seamer, and that's the 2-seamer, the same one that locked up Carl Crawford.
So on 3-2, Peterson, of course, strikes out a lot. The pitcher on deck. Can't imagine Ethier from second and Grandal from first are going anywhere. And they're not. Hit it solidly, but was way out in front. Jock Peterson looking to bust out of a 6-week slump. Ethier leading from second and Grandal from first. The shift is on. The pitch is on the way. The bases are loaded. Well, that was the 75th walk given up by Ross. And Darren Balsley coming out already.
Well, that's a big mistake. 3-2, and you miss up like that with a two-seam fastball where your bread and butter is a sinker. You need a ground ball for a double play. It's 3-2. You're really trying to throw a ball low and down the middle with good movement. And to miss by 4 feet up is there's something for the pitching coach. He needs to say something to get him refocused.
6'5", 230-pound Tyson Ross getting ready to face Alex Wood. Wood has 1 double, 4 RBIs among his 7 hits. Ethier, Grandal, and Peterson are the runners. The Dodgers a threat here in the first. Rollins is on deck. Low and outside.
Well, that was real close or a strike, and you think with the pitcher up there he'd get that call, but you walk as many people as he does. Borderline goes the opposite way.
There's a strike, 1-1. Now Wood's going to step out of the batter's box. Renicky flashes a sign, then goes over to talk with Ethier at third. The ball, a strike, and an out. 2-1.
It's interesting with a possible squeeze, even with the pitcher up there, bases loaded, I know, but Tyson Ross going from the windup. That's a very aggressive way to pitch in this situation. Kind of hurting your middle infielders with the secondary lead at first, getting that double play up the middle. You're playing double play depth.
Now 3-1.
He's been walking some batters. I think right now he just hasn't been able to feel anything, whether he's from the stretch or the windup. He's searching for it.
He's walked more than any other pitcher in the National League. 3-2. Ross came over from the Athletics 3 years ago. Struggles in the second. Gets the big strikeout, his second of the game. It'll be up to Jimmy Rollins.
That was the pitch that Alex Wood should have been able to handle. It was a fastball right down the middle. He just challenged him. He's having trouble finding the strike zone, so he just threw it right there and took his chances, and Alex Wood just misses that. Swings right underneath it.
That was Wood's 43rd at bat and the 26th time he's been struck out. Now Rollins with 4 career grand slams. Bases are loaded and 2 out. 0-1. Dodgers, even with their 8 runs and 10 hits and the 5 home runs last night, were 0 for 7 with runners in scoring position. Rollins 13 home runs on the year, a 4-game hitting streak. Takes high and outside. 38 pitches already.
You start missing the strike zone and walking people. That's going to escalate the pitch count.
The ball, a strike, and 2 out. 2-1.
Even when he gets somebody out, it seems like it's a deep count.
This is going to be the 30th pitch of the inning. Ethier, Grandal, and Peterson the runners. The 2-1 to Rollins. Right to the second baseman, Jerko, and the Dodgers threaten but leave 3 and fail to score. No runs and one base hit. Scoreless as we head to the bottom half of the second. Jeep Cherokee with an EPA estimated 31 highway MPG. It's the perfect choice. Visit Jeep.com today. So Alex Wood will be facing Derek Norris, Will Myers, and Austin Hedges in the bottom half of the second inning. Dodgers 9-5 against the Padres this year, 4-2 at Dodger Stadium, 5-3 down here in San Diego. Well, with the Giants in Denver, the last 2 weeks have really been the tale of the tape in the National League West. While the Dodgers have gone 9-3 in their last 12, the Giants have gone 3-9. So the Dodgers have picked up 6 games in the standings. In fact, the Dodgers lead of now 7.5 is the largest in baseball, with the exception of the Kansas City Royals. 28 to play, including tonight. Norris been catching the last couple of nights, playing first base this evening. Norris, a very fast runner, not just for a catcher, but a fast runner, period. He has 20 infield hits this year of his 109 base hits. Off to the right. And Gonzalez going to run out of room.
Remind you a little bit of Hall of Famer Craig Biggio when he was a catcher early in his career. As fast as he was back there.
Yeah, there are definitely guys that you have a star on the scouting report. You're like, okay, look at the position. You're thinking, okay, maybe not be a fast runner, but you put a star going. He's fast. Be ready to get rid of it when he hits a ground ball to you as an infielder.
Into center field, and Peterson's there. Boy, he had a tough time with the sun, it looked like.
I don't know what he had issue. I don't know if it was the sun or there was something behind home plate that he had a tough read, but that was a line drive, and it's really one of the toughest ones to read. A line drive hit hard right at you, and right there at the end, I don't know what might have got him. Maybe if there's some sun peeking through, or if there was something behind home plate that it just kind of got caught in, that maybe the same color as the ball and you just can't quite pick it up.
Well, that's the first out of the second, and Will Myers coming up. One of the things you and I, the three of us, were talking about the other day. Now the Dodgers, with the big lead, can ill afford to take their foot off the accelerator. Of course, had that frustrating loss with the controversial call night before last, and last night they came out with both barrels blazing.
No matter what thought process you go through of, boy, it really feels comfortable, or boy, we have to win this game. Ultimately, it is about taking care of the things that you can control yourself. It's usually the last thought.
Mike Bolsinger with the win last night. Alongside Matt Latos. And Earl, you were mentioning prior to the game that Alex Wood can solidify his spot in the rotation, number 4 in that position.
Yeah, you think about, if you go Greinke, Kershaw, Greinke, and then you're probably going to go Brett Anderson. And then if they go to a 4th man in the rotation and don't bring the number 1 guy back on short rest, if that's the way it works out in the playoffs, then you're going to need a 4th starter. I think Alex Wood has shown that he can compete.
Into right center, a long run for Ethier, and he will track it down. Two out in the second. Ethier playing with a bruised knee, having fouled one off the knee on Wednesday. Austin Hedges stepping in.
And it's amazing coming down the stretch that's what they're looking at. Right now there is, you're trying to get to the postseason first and foremost, but there is a little competition still that exists, because they're going to have to make decisions as far as the roster is concerned to get to the postseason.
Hedges, a local boy, takes a strike, 0-1.
And always, it's usually the biggest competition is amongst that 4th, 5th starter, and whether you keep them, you put them in the bullpen, who's going to be your long relief guy.
Behind second base, in comes Ethier, and he makes a spectacular catch. Andre Ethier showing no ill effects of his wounded knee, robbing Hedges of a hit. A 1-2-3 inning for Alex Wood. What a play. Ethier is back. Thousand fans at Dodger Stadium will receive a bobblehead of 2-time Silver Slugger Award winner Fernando Valenzuela, presented by State Farm. For tickets, go to Dodgers.com/promotions. So Ethier with a nice play to close out the second.
It shows the confidence he has in that leg after fouling the ball off his right knee and hadn't been in there for a couple days. Got a great jump, and we know Andre Ethier can play all 3 outfield positions. But the confidence he showed in the leg at the very end of the play, sacrificing a possible injury again, awesome.
Chase Utley singled to center in his first at-bat. He's now got a 5-game hitting streak. Takes upstairs. 1 ball, no strikes. For Utley, this is his 14th game with the Dodgers. Still don't know when Howie Kendrick's going to be back. Outside corner for a strike.
I was a little disappointed when Corey Seager wasn't in the lineup again today. That gave us a buzz the last couple days, getting to watch his major league debut and how good he played and everything that he made, the impact on the ball club.
And how about his roommate in Oklahoma City, Scott Schebler? Home run, 2 stolen bases.
Pretty good. It's almost like we were on the road in spring training, got to see the youngsters. Now we're back home, you know. Play the regulars.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Gonzalez on deck. The shift on for Utley. And he nearly got hit by a pitch and was able to get out of the way.
That's one that you could almost fake, but with replay, they would have caught you.
Sometimes you just want to hit. You're like, don't worry about it. Let's hit.
Not everybody was as good as you.
But I was thinking about what you were talking about with Seager and Schebler. That this is like spring training. Where at spring training, you're a young guy. You know they may not make the roster, but you want to leave an impression.
Oh yeah.
And here you are. 2 things: you want to help the team win and make an impact, and also leave an impression, because going in the offseason, there's going to be decisions to be made, and you want to make sure that you show it at this level, even going down the stretch in a team that's trying to get to the postseason.
As the Dodgers make their moves in the offseason, whatever happens in this year, the phone will ring about everybody on the roster from other GMs. So what are you guys thinking about Schebler? What are you guys thinking in your outfield? What are you guys doing in the infield? And the conversations will start.
Well, Schebler had a terrific spring. Hit in the 240s most of the year at Oklahoma City, but showed power. There's a fly ball well hit to center field, and it's going to be tracked down by Will Myers. Utley narrowly missing a double, maybe a triple.
Good job by Utley, first of all, smoking this ball to center field, but a better job by Myers in center field to track that ball down. It looked like it was going to be in the gap for extra bases, and he robs Chase Utley, staying with it, eyeing the ball. Nice catch.
Well, Myers not with typical center field speed, but he ran a very accurate route right there that his speed was enough.
So Utley's really been hitting the ball solidly the last week to 10 days. The hit and robbed of one tonight.
Watching Chase and the way he's playing, as healthy as he looks and swinging the bat, and watching Jimmy Rollins take it up a notch here in September and start to think about October. So very comfortable with those guys at the top of the order. We're longing for Howie Kendrick to get back, but you're comfortable with the depth of the 2 ex-Phillies.
Hey, watching Chase run the last few games. I mean, he taking those extra bases, running hard. Not that he doesn't ever play that way, but he's coming off a leg injury. So you're thinking, okay, is it going to be the same as far as speed and maybe just take? He looks really healthy out there right now.
Badly sprained his ankle in January, stepping on a baseball.
And he talked about he's not playing out the string. He wants to play for a while after this.
And so he has come home. He's in a good spot. Happy to be where he is. And here's Adrian Gonzalez, who has been happy to hit against the Padres over the course of his career. But right at Norris, and there's 2 gone. And Justin Turner's coming up. They're going to the bottom half of the 4th inning in Colorado. And the Giants lead the Rockies 2-1. As if the Giants don't have enough injury problems. Hector Sanchez hurt his leg running out a sacrifice bunt, and he had to be helped off the field. 1 ball, no strikes to Turner, who bounced to second base in his first at bat. 1-1. This is the 134th game of the season for the Dodgers at 76-58. That's exactly where they were this time a year ago. They would end up winning 94, of course. Here's the 1-1. High and away, 2 balls and a strike. So Tyson Ross, helped by a terrific defensive play in center field by Will Myers. As Turner takes a strike, 2-2. Turner, and now 20 games back off the disabled list, isn't what he once was, and trying to get back to where he used to be. But a fly ball to right and a 1-2-3 inning for Tyson Ross. Dodgers go quietly. And we'll go to the bottom of the third with Barmes, Ross, and Yangervis Solarte coming up.
Earlier, the playoff rotation, how that might look as far as the regular season, what is remaining of it. This is how it's going to factor in as far as the rotation is concerned. In the 3 games in Anaheim, it's going to be Zach Greinke, then Clayton Kershaw, and then TBD on Wednesday. Don Mattingly saying they're starting to have the conversation about that. Could be Mike Bolsinger, could be Matt Latos. And then he was also asked if he would be willing to go to a 6-man rotation for the remainder of the regular season. He said not in the traditional sense. We may give a guy an extra day of rest, but it will still be the standard 5-man rotation unless they want to move a guy just to give him an extra day, guys. And Wednesday's starting pitcher may be reflective on how it all works out the next 2-3 days between the Dodgers and the Giants. And the Giants have a 2-1 lead in the 4th inning in Colorado. And we are scoreless in the bottom of the 3rd as Clint Barmes leads it off. Barmes at 251. And so now the Padres, his 4th team. Ball and a strike. Tyson Ross is on deck. And Yangervis Solarte.
Other than Greinke and Kershaw, whoever starts after them, those guys are going to have pretty short leashes. You've got an 11-man bullpen.
Turner will throw out Barmes for the first out of the 3rd.
But like you say, Charlie, depending on how the Giants are in the lead and the magic number will depend on if you're protecting, if you're developing, if you're going for it. Just depends on. But there are so many alternatives now with the roster expansion.
And the other thing is, above and beyond the magic number, the Dodgers certainly would like to go into San Francisco, if not having clinched, pretty darn close to it, right, having a big fat insurance policy. Dodgers 0-6 up at AT&T Park this year, and Tyson Ross is 12 for 48. 1 home run, 4 runs batted in. 1 out, nobody on in the 3rd. It was remarkable to look at the standings this morning, and the Dodgers with the 7.5 game lead. Only Kansas City has a bigger lead among the division leaders, and it happened in a hurry.
Yeah, the cream is starting to rise to the top in the West.
Ethier will track it down.
It seems like all year the Dodgers have been looked at with a more critical eye all around baseball because of the size of the payroll, I think. And they expect you to win like 105 games, and it's supposed to equate to, oh, you've spent this much money, you're going to win that much more than everybody else. But baseball has a way of evening out even the best teams and the worst teams, and everybody wins 60, everybody loses 60.
Except the 62 Mets.
Yeah, that's right. But you got to see what you do with those other 42 games.
Solarte struck out in his first at-bat and had gotten on base in 7 of his 9 plate appearances in the first 2 games of the series so far. And he continues his hot hitting. Second hit given up by Wood.
Solarte's looked really good at the plate during this series. I mean, not only has he been able to get on, but every time he hits it, he squares it up. I mean, he's hitting it hard everywhere.
He's 6 for 9 and 2 walks. And here's Jerko. Took a called third strike in his first at-bat. "12 home runs, 44 runs batted in." They were talking to Kurt Bavacqua today prior to the game, and we raised the issue last night about, do you think Jerko can play shortstop with the shifts? Bavacqua, as diplomatic as he could be, said no. Jerko grounds to third. That ends the inning. No runs and a hit. We'll go to the 4th. Dodgers and Padres scoreless from San Diego. Gonzalez talks about how he was influenced by his high school coach. Plus, the 5-time All-Star discusses balancing family life with baseball. Don't miss Connected with Adrian Gonzalez tomorrow at 6, right here on Sportsnet LA. Through 3, we are scoreless. In the 4th, it'll be Andre Ethier, Carl Crawford, and Yasmani Grandal. No runs, 2 hits. The Dodgers left the bases loaded in the 2nd. And the Padres no runs and 2 base hits. Ethier doubled in his first at-bat. Also made a terrific sliding catch, robbing Austin Hedges of a hit in the 2nd inning. Nope. Takes high and away, 1 ball, no strikes.
Nomar, if you're a hitter, which leg is it okay to have some aches and pains in? The front leg or the back leg? His is in the front.
I'd say neither. You want your legs to be healthy, both of them.
But if you had to go up there with a wounded leg?
I think I'd prefer the front more than the back because I'm pushing off.
See, on a pitcher, the back leg is the one I'd want to be hurt, not the front leg where you got to land on it.
Well hit to right. Kemp's got a long way to go. And he can't get it. One hop off the wall. Ethier with his second double in as many at-bats.
However his leg's feeling, I like it today.
Easy for you to say.
Right. We've seen him on defense. Been challenged out there. Has made some great plays. Now his second double. It's that first one down the line, and then that one he stayed on and drove it to right center with a nice swing through the zone. And now here we are with the Dodgers. Last time he was up, they had a man on second base, nobody out, and weren't able to score him. See if they can get the job done this inning.
After the Ethier leadoff double in the second, Crawford would strike out. Now Carl with another chance, takes inside. So Andre Ethier, in his last 22 games, is 19 for 47, a .404 clip. Crawford the hitter, Grandal on deck, scoreless, nobody out in the fourth. Crawford takes a strike.
You know, you were talking about Carl Crawford, how well he's been swinging the bat, and over the last couple games, this is where you battle yourself as a hitter. You're going, okay, last couple games I've gotten to the situation, haven't been able to get the job done when I'm focused, when I'm really trying to move him over. Do I just tell myself, forget about moving him over, I've been swinging the bat really well, and just try to knock him in?
Drilled into the right field corner. Off the base of the wall. Ethier will score easily, and Crawford arrives at second base with a run-producing double. His 13th RBI of the year, and the Dodgers take a 1-0 lead.
Well, as a pitcher on the mound with a man on second, no out, and a left-handed hitter like Carl Crawford, you want to try and either be hard away so that he can't pull it, and if you go soft and in, you want to make him pull it foul, but he makes a mistake and leaves that off-speed pitch near the middle of the plate, and Carl has a sweet spot in his swing right there, and he grooved it out there to right field.
So Crawford with 13 runs batted in. The Dodgers take the 1-0 lead. The Dodgers are 30 games over 500 this year when scoring first. Grandal hit by a pitch in his first at-bat, fouls it back, 0-1.
This is that situation where you say a guy in a slump, at least he's got another level to have success.
Right. This is where, you know, he took a good swing right there for Yasmani, and he's trying to pull the ball, at least get over the right side. Even when you're in the slump, you want to still man on second, nobody out, at least get the job done. Just to have something going back into the dugout with something positive.
Well, last night, 0 for 3, 3 strikeouts and a walk. Night before last, 2 strikeouts and 2 walks. To the right side, gets Crawford over to third. First out of the fourth.
There you go. And I'll tell you, your teammates know that too. You know, they know you're struggling, and you get that job. They're up on the top step. They're giving you a high five. Say, listen, that way to get the job done. And that just makes you feel better. Like, okay, because there are times when you're in a slump, you feel like you're not even helping the team. Like you're not contributing at all. And then hopefully they can knock the run in to make them feel even that much better.
So the Padres will bring the infield in for Jock Peterson. This is a big at-bat for the Dodgers. What with the pitcher Alex Wood on deck.
Don Mattingly going over possible squeeze, possible sacrifice, what he wants, if he gives him the sacrifice sign, and of course, you know, if you get the squeeze sign.
Peterson takes inside. Jock, of course, would love to set aside the possibility of a squeeze with a base hit here and knocking in Crawford. Matt Duffy, a 2-run double in the top of the fifth. Giants lead the Rockies now 4-1 in Denver. Inside, 2-0.
This is one of those situations as a hitter, and where we talked about keyholing and looking for your pitch and driving it, manning at third base, but where you know the pitcher's hitting behind you, if you can expand your zone just a little bit, because you know they may not get, but if you got to be able to understand yourself to get something in the air that you can handle. And right now
3 balls and no strikes.
They're not giving them anything close right now, but you know, if there's something that's close where there's something that you understand yourself and can handle, go ahead and maybe go out of your zone just a little bit to try to get the job done.
See if Peterson's swinging away on 3-0. Takes a 4-pitch walk. Second time he's walked tonight. Well, we mentioned going in that Tyson Ross has walked more batters than anybody in the league. Now 76.
And that one, Jock really didn't get any pitch. I mean, even that 3-0 pitch wasn't a good pitch to go after. That was down and away, one that if you try to swing at, you end up rolling over.
Wood has sacrificed 7 times this year.
Situation right here, he probably squares around for the sacrifice. The thing you can do after that is if he doesn't get it down, you can come right back with a square around early, but it's a squeeze.
Time called.
So, Oral, when you're here, you thinking about butting it down to third base? To third base here for the sacrifice? That's compared to first. That way, if the third
Carl
base
can walk in with him.
Yep.
Yep.
Peterson ran about a third of the way to second base, what with the first baseman Norris coming in.
You can get your break. Jock was just doing a fake steal right there. See what defense they were running a little early. Caused some chaos.
Crawford at third, Peterson at first. Wood takes it back. 1-1. So 24-year-old Alex Wood
can squeeze on this pitch if you want.
Foul.
He was trying to bunt it to third, but you're trying to bunt it about 30-40 feet to third baseman so that Carl Crawford can follow him down the line. You see the angle of the bat as he's trying to keep the barrel of the bat out in front of the handle, and that angle lets the ball go to third.
Wood 6'4", 215. Grew up in North Carolina, went to Georgia. Now tossed to first base. Jock Peterson, of course, stole 30 bases last year at AAA. He was the first 30-30 man there in about nearly 70 years. Yet at the big league level this year, he's stolen but 3 and has been caught 6 times. Short lead for him. 1-2 to Wood. Well, nothing accomplished there. Second time Wood has gone down on strikes, this time fouling off a bunt attempt. Two out, 2 on, and Rollins coming up. Flied to right and bounced to second. Rollins, a modest 4-game hitting streak, runners at the corners. Takes a strike, and it's 0-1. Jimmy just 149 this year with runners in scoring position. 15 for 101.
You know, Nomar, we've commented on Jimmy from the left side, how he's opening up and looking like he wants to pull. With the shift right here and only needing a base hit to drive the run in, look how he's got the stance now closed. Closed shoulders, closed stance. He's not opened up to hit the ball to right field. He's closed up to hit it to left.
Closed more to think about more up the middle.
Did not go around, according to Angel Hernandez, the third base umpire tonight.
And even on the check swing right there,
you saw the way the bat,
see the way the bat is
starting to go.
Yeah, he's going knob first, keeping the head back, and that's why he was able to check. If he was thinking with the open stance and trying to pull, there's no way he would have checked the swing there.
The front shoulder would have come out more.
Well, he's definitely looking to go to left field.
It's almost as if the Padres are daring him. 2 balls and a strike to Rollins. Now it's 3-1. Now Chase Utley, who's on deck, has squared it up twice tonight with a single to center and a long line drive out into the glove of Will Myers. Tyson Ross already at 76 pitches. 2 walks tonight. The league leading 76 walks this year. Now 3-2. So Peterson will get a head start.
Tyson Ross either recognizing Jimmy Rollins' stance or really trying to throw pitches that make Jimmy hit it into his defense, because he's gone all off-speed pitches, breaking balls, to try and make him roll over into the 3 fielders on the right.
3 balls and 2 strikes. 2 out, a run in the 4th. Grounded right to the second baseman, Jerko. Dodgers come up with a run on 2 hits and leave 2. The Ethier double and the Crawford RBI double. And it's 1-0 with Kemp leading it off for the Padres in the bottom of the 4th. Fourth, Ethier, and then Crawford. For Crawford, his 13th run batted into the year, and that's how the Dodgers take a 1-0 lead into the bottom half of the 4th with Alex Wood on the hill. They'll be facing Matt Kemp, who's single to left, then Justin Upton and Derek Norris. So Wood has thrown but 34 pitches to this point. A couple of hits for San Diego, and one of them from Matt Kemp. Been on base 25 consecutive games, either by a hit or a walk. And last night he hit his 200th career home run. Outside and low, 1 ball and no strikes. Well, for the 2nd consecutive year, Matt Kemp a slow first half and a torrid second half. Wood missing outside. On the season, Kemp now with 18 home runs, 3rd in the league with 89 runs batted in. And Wood falls behind 3-0. Three balls and a strike to Kemp.
When you got to be careful on 3-1, 1-0 game.
Rolled to short, where the second baseman Utley picks it up.
That's quite a throw for Chase Utley.
I was like, it's a different throw for your second baseman.
Wow. He tried to get on top of it. Analyze these mechanics here, Noam.
Whoa.
It's a long way.
He flicked it like he did at second base, but it was like, okay, I'm going to flick it, but I need a little bit extra.
It's almost like a little leaguer when he gets moved up to the bigger field. It's like, I got to put some arc on this to get it all the way over there.
Now Justin Upton stepping in. He bounced to second base in his first at-bat. Upton at 256. One ball, no strikes. Now Upton's going to be a free agent at the end of the year. He certainly has had a solid season, along with 18 stolen bases and 22 tries. 1-1.
He's going to get some offers, and there's going to be some big offers. Some 4- and 5-year deals, I would think. Not a lot of guys out there are going to hit 27 home runs or so if he gets 2 or 3 more the rest of the year. 73 RBIs on a team that doesn't score a lot of runs.
Well, the Padres will be paying a lot of money to Kemp next year, and the future of his contract, James Shields.
Craig Kimbrell.
3-1 to Upton.
There's Mr. Shields right there. Struggled with his control yesterday. The 6 walks.
Career high. Upton with a 1-out walk. First one given up by Wood tonight.
They fell behind Matt Kemp, pitched him very carefully, but in the 3-1 count made an outstanding sinking fastball away. Got the ground ball right there, pitching Justin Upton carefully, just lost him.
In the top of the 6th in Denver, the Giants lead the Rockies 4-1. Here's Derek Norris. Fly to center in his first at-bat. To third. Turner. Utley drops the ball. And out at second base is the call from Adam Hamari. Apparently the interpretation was it was a transfer play.
I think Chase might have been able to pick it up with his foot on the bag still after he dropped this ball. So he drops it here, but when he picks it up, see, he's still on it, and that's what he's calling.
And now Pat Murphy.
Do you think?
Have a look at a replay.
Do you think it's in Chase's head a little bit that he's got to make sure he's touching the bag, so he's concentrating on that left foot? And do I feel the bag, and then he loses track of the ball in the air?
It may, but I'll tell you what, he has. So one thing about it is the way the slide was. Justin Upton might have been safe if he had slid into the bag with his foot, but the fact that he went after Chase to take him out, and then it took his hand to get it. By then, I think Chase had the ball. The only question they're wondering was Chase's foot on second base as he was straddling the bag when he picked the ball up. Because I thought when he picked the ball up, Upton had not reached second base yet.
Well, they're going to have a replay on this.
So he drops it here. So where's Upton? There he has the ball now. He's picking it up. So he hasn't reached it yet. Where he might have had a chance if he goes feet first. The only question is, was Chase's left foot on the bag here?
Haven't we had enough close calls at second base in this series?
Oh, right there. Doesn't really look like his toes on the bag, does it?
I have to spend the next minute and a half quiet because I never get these right.
It's pretty close.
I'm just glad Chase is healthy.
So first you have to look to see his toe. Then you have to see when does Justin Upton actually hit second base.
Right. Because even though he's sliding by it and it's a force play, he's not now. He doesn't touch it until his hand touches.
Adam Hamari, a vacation reliever, is a second base umpire. His eyes were clearly attuned to the play. Well, 48 hours ago, we had one of the more controversial plays of the year. And where is Utley's foot? And when did Upton arrive?
His foot was off the bag. and then it goes back and kicks it when he's about to throw. But I don't know if his hand was on second before his foot went back and touched it, because when he picked up the ball, when Utley picked up the ball, his foot wasn't on the bag.
Yep.
So this is a good angle. So now we just got to see, when does Upton's hand touch second? So Chase has the ball now. His foot's not on it. You see that toe is not touching the bag. So they're going to watch that now because it was a bad throw. But does the toe get, now it's there. Yeah. Now he's touching it and his hand hasn't touched second base. So from that angle, my view, I think he's out.
And here he is out. Your basic 5-4. And the second out of the inning.
Once again, I'm telling you, for the tomorrow they're going to probably have to get rid of second base, because we've had a lot of plays at second base.
This is 48 hours ago. And how close Utley's foot was there and then. And the call was like, huh? Utley catches a break this time. And Myers is the batter.
See, that one's a different one than the other one, because the one prior to that, that's just a no-brainer. That's, everything was perfect. That's the neighborhood rule. This one, when you drop the ball or when the ball's off a little bit, that's when the neighborhood play doesn't come into effect. So that one, you have to make sure he has the ball and is touching second base.
Will Myers, 1 ball, no strikes. Flied to right in his first at bat. Missed about half the season. Left wrist. 2 balls and no strikes. Myers made a terrific catch, robbing Chase Utley back in the 3rd inning. Myers in center field tonight. And Wood losing some control here in the 4th.
Alex Wood has gone between 5 and 6 in the 3rd innings for every start he's had with the Dodgers. He hasn't had a scoreless outing yet. He hasn't given up more than 4.
And a 4-pitch walk.
Lost a little rhythm there after that delay on the replay and needs to get back in the strike zone right away here. That's Monty Grandal talking to him. Not sure he needs more delay as much as he needs to get right back on the rubber and change something. Fix it.
Wood had no 3-ball counts in the first 3 innings. He has had 3 3-ball counts here in the 4th. As he has walked 2. And Austin Hedges looked one into right, but was robbed of a base hit by Andre Ethier back in the 2nd. 1-0 Dodgers. Low and outside.
This is where you feel a little lost as a pitcher. One good pitch gets you out of it, but you're trying to throw a strike, but you don't want to throw something just center cut. You've got guys in scoring position now.
Hedges 7 out of 21 with runners in scoring position. And Wood has lost it here for a moment.
That was the pitcher's pitch that if he'd been throwing strikes and throwing the ball well, that was perfect. But when you're throwing balls, you don't get that call.
Now Gonzalez tries to settle down Wood.
I love this. A new Dodger, hadn't been here very long. And you got Yasmani Grandal caring about him. You got Adrian coming in and talking to him. It shows you how much respect they have for Alex Wood and want to help him through this. Good job by the 2 veterans.
Hedges, a 2nd-round draft pick. Takes outside, 3 balls and no strikes. Jake Peavy doubled home a run in the top of the 6th, and the Giants lead the Rockies 5-1. And there's a strike. 3-1 to Austin Hedges. Clint Barmas on deck. So Wood trying to get out of the jam he's created for himself. 3-2.
Pitches 2 and 3 were real close, but were balls. Pitch 4 was right down the middle to get back in the count, and that pitch right there was a good pitch.
The veteran Barmas is next. But Wood would much prefer to face him in the 5th inning. So the runners will be going on 3-2. There they go. Here it comes. Fly ball, center field. Racing on over is Peterson. That will end the inning. No runs, no hits, 2 walks, and 2 men left. After 4, Dodgers 1 and the Padres 0. When the Dodgers play host to the Rockies and pick up your very own Eric Gagne pin, the 7th in the Cy Young Pin Collector Series, presented by 76. For more information, visit Dodgers.com/promotions. This is the time of night for the next 15 minutes or so where the sky will come into play. Pop-ups can get lost in that almost oatmeal-like color overhead. And Chase Utley will lead it off. I can't imagine there's a more helpless feeling
than losing the ball up in the... No, there isn't a hopeless. There's 2. When you lose it in the sky, that it just blends in, and then when it's right in the sun as well.
We don't have to worry about the sun now. And here is Utley. And there is Myers.
It's the second time Utley's lined out to center field.
So Utley 1 for 3. Adrian Gonzalez stepping in. Gonzalez has popped to 3rd and bounced to 1st. Dodgers are running 4 hits. The Padres no runs in 2. And they've got the pronounced shift on for Adrian. Third baseman Yangervis Solarte is on the first base side of second. His heels on the outfield grass. And it's outside. 2-0 to Gonzalez. Outfield shifts Adrian the other way. Fair ball. And Gonzalez Barely got out of the batter's box. There's 2 out.
I think Gonzalez thought it was foul. That's why he thought it was it bounced. That's what he was looking at. He was trying to see the angle. That watch him out of here. He's looking at like, okay, that's going foul. He still thinks it might have bounced over foul.
I think he thinks it was foul the whole way and kicked back over the bag.
Yeah.
That's when he went like this to the bench. He kind of motioned his arm like, well, it came back in.
2 out, nobody on, and Justin Turner coming up. Turner 0 for 2 has bounced to second and flied to right. Justin is 11 for his last 67. This since coming off the disabled list following that staph infection. Ethier is on deck. It's outside. Rockies hitting in the bottom of the 6th. Giants 5-1. One hop to short. Easy hop for Barmes. An easy inning for Ross. 7 pitches. That's all he needed to retire the Dodgers in order. After 4.5, Dodgers 1-0. California Toyota dealers. Now at Toyota's annual clearance event, get amazing deals on every new Toyota. As we head to the home half of the 5th, it'll be Clint Barmes, Tyson Ross, and Yangervis Solarte. It gets more difficult for Wood as the game progresses. Barmes bounced to third in his first at-bat. Just low and outside, 1 ball, no strikes. Barmes struggled in the 4th inning. Threw 21 pitches, only 7 for strikes, but somehow got out of it unscathed. There's a strike, and it's 1-1. In the top of the 5th, Tyson Ross retired the Dodgers, throwing a total of 7 pitches. Getting Utley and Gonzalez and Turner in order. The 1-1 is low, 2 balls and a strike.
You know, Alex Wood, we saw the graphic about hitters third time around start to catch up to him. He's pretty much a two-pitch pitcher. He's got the fastball, the curveball, and the changeup.
Comebacker. And that's the first out of the 5th.
The league predominantly knows that he's a fastball curveball pitcher, and he's not an overpowering guy, and he doesn't have exceptional movement. So everything is big league standard, but it's not big league exceptional. So when a little steam comes out of the sheets as far as the times they've seen him and the velocity maybe goes down a tick and the sharpness of everything, that's when the league catches up with him. So it's real important for him to have good location here this 3rd time through.
Ross lined to right in his first at-bat. Not a bad hitting pitcher. Home run, 4 RBIs, a double and a triple. Wood to this point has held the Padres to 2 hits, and he delivers a strike to Ross. It's 0-1. Nothing in 2.
Short turnaround for Alex Wood with the Dodgers going 3 up, 3 down. But remember, the delay from the replay kind of got him off of his game, so he gets to get right back out there with a short rest. But he seems to be doing fine. The rest's not a problem. Got his rhythm back.
Missing outside. And speaking of rest, he's pitching on 6 days of it. Struck out 2, he's walked 2, and the count is 1-2 to Tyson Ross. And he gets hit by a pitch.
Had to go breaking ball down and in to the pitcher just to put him away, and pulled it in there and hit him in the foot. That is a mistake. Keep the ball down, strike him out. Nope, pulled it too far.
That's what pitchers look for, that back foot breaking ball. Well, that was definitely the back foot breaking ball.
Here's Solarte, 1 for 2. Takes a strike, 0-1. 1 for 2 tonight. Was 1 for 2, 2 walks and a run scored last night. Had 4 hits in 5 at-bats on Thursday night, including a home run. 6 for 9 in the series altogether. 0-2.
Alex Wood right there went to the third pitch, the changeup, and he threw a dandy right there. You got a guy up there that is squaring up almost everything in the series. So you go to the well.
Jerko on deck. Ross leads from first. Rolled to short. Go to second. They just do get Ross. Rollins and Utley have done that play a time or 2.
Right off the bat, you know, there's no chance at a double play, so you have to decide as an infielder which base you're going to go to, but also recognizing who's out there. And you see how hard he also threw it to second base, knowing that this isn't about turning it. This is getting it to him quick so he can catch the ball and get out of the way.
Jed Jerko takes a strike on the outside corner, 0-1. Nothing like a 35-foot fastball.
I'm used to it.
0-1. It's a little more routine, and that's going to do it. So Jerko bounces out. No runs, no hits, a hit batsman, and that's that. We'll go to the 6th. Wood and the Dodgers 1-0, and Ethier will be leading it off. ball off his knee the other night. A look at the Arco top-tier play, robbing Austin Hedges of a base hit back in the second inning. And Ethier, who will be leading it off here in the sixth, has gone 2 for 2 and a couple of doubles. Nolan Arenado at this pace is going to hit 150 home runs this year. He has been on fire. Another home run, his 36th of the season. 2-run shot has the Rockies to within 2 in the bottom of the sixth. Giants 5, Rockies 3 in Denver. We'll keep you up to date on that one. Ethier, the Gold Glove winner in 2011.
He better keep hitting because he can't play defense.
Oh.
He might have been one of the best third basemen I've ever seen play the position.
And he's just 3 years into an unbelievable career. Ethier tried to check his swing and went around. When he won the Gold Glove a couple of years ago, the old adage was rookies don't win the Gold Glove, and Dodger fans were all angry about the fact that Juan Uribe had been passed over. And then the second year, if there was any doubt about Arenado and his defensive prowess.
Yeah, that first year wasn't a fluke.
Yeah. Ethier slices one to shallow left, and it drops in for a base hit. Andre flirting with the notion of going for 2. He'll hold at first. A leadoff single to left. He's 3 for 3.
Well, he almost runs into Derek Norris over there at first base. And here he just gets a piece of it. That's one of those that you're like, oh, I mishit, but oh, thank you very much. Just find some grass out there. Well, once again, Andre Ethier, leadoff hit. Last 2 times up, he said a leadoff double.
Dodgers have had 3 leadoff base runners, and his name is Andre Ethier. A double in the second, a double in the fourth, and a single here in the sixth. Crawford would strike out after Ethier's first double, but then double home Ethier in the fourth. That's the only run of the game for either side. The Dodgers have 5 hits, the Padres have 2. Through the middle, Jerko, nice backhanded play out at second on the first, not in time.
Carl Crawford was unlucky on this one because it hit the mound and it kicked toward the second baseman Jerko. Because if it doesn't kick toward the second baseman, it probably goes up the middle because it was hit really hard. Good job by Carl hustling down the line as we look at the Morongo slow-mo cam.
So Crawford takes the place of Ethier at first with 1 out. And Grandal still looking for a hit. Grandal hitless in his last 30 at-bats. Hasn't had a hit since August 16th. Crawford, he's been stealing bases lately. 6 out of 7 on the year. Now you can run on Tyson Ross.
And Carl Crawford is well aware of that.
Ross has surrendered 34 stolen bases. Only John Lester, who's allergic to throwing to first, has given up more stolen bases.
It's really surprising for Tyson Ross to give up that many bags. He's a great athlete. He's very quick to first base. He must be slow to home or very deliberate with a shoulder move or something that the runners pick up early. Oh, he just balked.
Well, they called timeout. That's why. Well, I saw it, but there was timeout.
You can run, but you can't hide. Lester, Ross, A.J. Burnett. Randall takes a ball. Randall hitless in his last 31 at-bats. 15 home runs, 44 runs batted in. Crawford had the base stolen, but Grandal foul tipped it away.
That is a big leg kick from Tyson Ross. Look how high that leg kick is and how deliberate he is to the plate.
And then for Yasmani, it's hard not to swing at that pitch because you can't see the runner going. It's a little bit different if you're from the right side and you see Carl get a good jump like that. You can possibly hold up.
Crawford not going that time. Pitch is up and in, 2-1. Crawford was about 40 feet off first base by the time Ross threw the pitch to the plate. Not quite halfway. 2-1. And now Tyson Ross becoming preoccupied.
Doesn't matter how many times you throw over there to first base. If you're going to take a long time to deliver the ball to home, once you decide to go there, the runner's going to be safe.
A bunt up the third base line. Ross. Terrific athletic play.
99% of the pitchers in the big leagues, you don't want them to attempt this play. It'll end up in right field. But Tyson Ross is such a great athlete. The eye-hand coordination and the body control.
You know, and I like the idea by Yasmani. You're struggling. Yes. Try something. The third baseman was back. And he just took a great play, a barehanded play, off balance throw by the pitcher to get you out. That's what we've talked about. You know, there's moments where you're going, man, I know I'm struggling. When you get your pitch, you foul it off, or when you think it's a ball and it's everything, you find yourself 0-2. And then now when you lay down a bunt, trying to get something going, and the pitcher makes an unbelievable athletic play on you.
Kevin Quackenbush is warming up in the bullpen. Darren Balsley has just completed his meeting with Ross. Gregor Blanco has just hit a home run for the Giants in the top half of the 7th inning. Giants 6-3 over the Rockies at Coors Field. Jock Peterson stepping in. He's walked twice tonight. Peterson, since the All-Star break, hitting 157. 4 home runs, 9 runs batted in. Padres have the shift on the right side of the infield. 0-1. Quite a dip in the second half for Peterson.
And a lot of people attribute that to the home run hitting contest, but I would attribute it more to the length of the big league season. His first year going through this stress and all the things, the big swing that he does take, and maybe that becoming a little bit more inaccurate.
And pitchers adjusting to him and him not being able to adjust to them. So I don't think it's the home run derby at all, because I thought we saw that slide starting even prior to the All-Star game.
Well, he's trying to adjust back now. They're making some adjustments with the stance, with the bat angle, with the length of his stride.
Up until about a week or so ago, when Kike Hernandez pulled his hamstring, Hernandez was getting the bulk of the time in center. 0-2. Crawford leads from second.
Nice stop behind home plate by Austin Hedges.
Exceptional block right here.
Wow, I mean, that is way in front of home plate. Oh.
One and two. Alex Wood on deck. And Ross about to throw his 98th pitch. So Crawford with good speed leading off second base. And the count 1-2. 2-2. And now Crawford with the ball between the hedges goes to third.
Carl Crawford, he was looking in the entire time, well aware, watching the ball, and then see the way Austin Hedges looked one way while the ball was the other. And once he saw that, he took off. Good read by Carl Crawford.
Harder to read it from second base because you don't have the angle when you're watching the ball fly from the pitcher to the catcher. From first base, you can see that it's going down too fast.
The 12th wild pitch given up by Ross, the most in the league. Ground ball to first. Easy play, and that's going to do it. No runs and one base hit. After 5.5, Dodgers 1-0.
Yasmani Grandal behind the plate for the Los Angeles Dodgers. Don Mattingly was asked about it earlier, and he said it's the entire package that we're working on, including his defense. He said that's why he's back there. And there might be a new glove in the game. You see it there. It's a new catcher's mitt by Under Armour. Now, Steve Salati is actually the one that's been getting the glove ready for Yasmani in the bullpen, trying to get it broken in. It's the only glove of its kind. In fact, Yasmani Grandal, the only one on the team right now using anything by Under Armour. They're working their way into the glove market, guys.
It's hard to just switch the glove in the middle of the season. He's breaking it in. You see right now he doesn't have it, but give it. A lot of times catchers will do that. They give it to the bullpen coach to really, break it in, because they're always catching those guys in the bullpen, taking the pitches, and they'll break it in a lot faster than you going out there. Because I'll tell you what, after catching all the games, you don't want to be going out there and catching bullpens.
No.
So finding a way to break it in.
Matt Kemp leading it off. Kemp has singled to left and bounced out. Kemp's gotten on base every day for about a month now. Whether a hit or a walk. Last night his 200th home run.
We talk about sore knees and elbows and sore hamstrings. I'll tell you what, catchers' hands get beat up. Their catching hand. Bone bruises, they can last for a long time if they just catch it the wrong way. Their thumbs really get it on that catching hand. Especially somebody like Yasmani, who tries to frame so many pitches. So what he's doing, he's sacrificing his own comfort to get the ball in the strike zone.
2 balls and a strike. Now 3-1. How often did you change your glove, Nomar? Once a year, or did you keep it around for?
No, I kept it around for a few years. So yeah, I had a glove that I would practice. I had a glove that was just for the game only. That would just come out, but I'd had another glove I would use that I just kind of break in as a backup. That would be my one in case that one broke.
Line drive, base hit for Matt Kemp. His second hit of the night, a leadoff single in the 6th. One of the great defensive shortstops 20, 25 years ago. Ray Ordonez seemed to have a new glove every day. And I never could figure out how a glove with so little maneuverability, it worked.
That glove wasn't broken in yet. It was a little stiff, and he had great hands. He really did. It's all about feel, whatever you feel comfortable with.
Meanwhile, the Dodgers a 1-0 lead. The Padres have been kind of lurking around. Upton 0 for 1 and a walk. Outside and low, 1 ball and no strikes.
Wasn't it Walt Weiss that used his glove almost his whole career? I think that thing was sewn up in so many places that it ripped.
I said I think I might have gone through 2 or 3 throughout my career.
1-1 to Upton.
As a pitcher, I went through about 1 a year, and the reason is I had the same thing, a game glove and then practice gloves and shagging gloves, but I didn't want it to get so soft that the hitters could see me squeezing on certain pitches, so I wanted to keep the back of my glove real firm and the inside of the glove soft, because I didn't want you guys to read what possible grip I had on the ball.
Well, you pitchers are always paranoid about that.
Well,
but you know,
the softer the glove gets, the easier to read.
But you know what, the hitters do pick that up.
The softer that glove is on the back, well, you start seeing our fingers squeeze. It's not good.
Well, that's why you see pitchers who stick their finger out and they have that extra piece of leather behind the glove, is because a lot of times is that, you know, hitters will pick up on that. Some pitchers will move that finger based on the pitch. You see, he doesn't have it on his glove. Alex Wood, he puts the finger inside the glove, but some pitchers will have the index finger out, and then there'll be another piece of leather on top of that, so the hitters won't recognize that and use that finger as telling the pitches.
Derek Norris on deck. 1-2 to Upton, just outside. .24 home runs and 73 runs batted in for Justin Upton. Kemp has 11 stolen bases. Was caught stealing the other night. Kemp 11 out of 13. Looks like a sold-out house here at Petco tonight. On 2-2.
See that pitch count, only the 4th. You see the 21. The other ones are stellar.
In that 4th inning, he walked 2 batters. In fact, in that 4th inning, the 21 pitches he threw, only 7 were for strikes. Now Gonzalez is going to come over.
.78 pitches, 6th inning. I think Alex Wood needs to get Upton out to make sure the bullpen doesn't start to get ready. For all these right-handed hitters in the Padre lineup, I would suspect that Rick Honeycutt and Don Mattingly would get a righty ready to start protecting him here. And you see they look like they're pondering something.
There are 11 relievers in the bullpen. Let's see if Kemp is going on 3-2. Very close.
Adrian Gonzalez wants to have a little delay here to give him a chance to take a look at the replay. You can see why Adrian wants to give him some time.
He got his foot in underneath.
I don't know. That's really close.
Alex Wood has 4 pickoffs.
Out.
Yeah.
So Ted Barrett, the crew chief and first base umpire, and Angel Hernandez will go have a listen to the folks in New York.
Tag right there. There's the tag. His foot's not there yet.
He's
I
out.
think he's out. That'd be a big out.
That's a huge out. 3-2, 1-run game. Middle of their order. Last time there was a delay, Alex Wood didn't throw. This time there's a delay. He is going to throw. Remember, he lost his release point.
So Ted Barrett, who made the call, listening to the folks in New York who just saw what you did. Gonzalez immediately questioned it. Ted Barrett, with that big old jaw, could take a punch. He was a prize fighter. Well, we're about to find out. Fifth pickoff of the season for Alex Wood. And they chagrined Matt Kemp.
Nice job, Adrian Gonzalez.
Yeah.
Alex Wood had him out too.
So now the count is 3-2 with 1 out. Kemp caught stealing the other night and picked off tonight. And a call, strike 3. Third strikeout of the game. That replay seemed to rejuvenate Alex Wood.
That was like we just talked about. That was a big spot. It was a leadoff base hit by Matt Kemp. You got Justin Upton, part of your order there, guy who hits it a long way, really takes it to the Dodgers. And so you get that out, and then you come with a good pitch right there at the bottom of the zone.
Now Derek Norris 0 for 2. Pops it up, right side, and there's Gonzalez. So Kemp, the leadoff hit, gets picked off. Upton strikes out, Norris pops out, and we'll go to the 7th with the Dodgers leading 1-0. Choose Nissan today. for great offers on our most exciting lineup ever. Shop at ChooseNissan.com. And by DraftKings. Play daily fantasy baseball for free on DraftKings.com. Use promo code BLUECREW for free entry. So last night, these two teams combined for 8 home runs, 12 runs and 14 hits. And tonight, the Dodgers 1 run, 5 hits, the Padres no runs and 3 base hits. As we go to the 7th, Kemp is picked off. Upton was struck out. Tyson Ross's night is done. And Kevin Quackenbush is on his way in, making his 47th appearance. An ERA of 3.55. Opponents hitting .227 against him. And Tyson Ross, 99 pitches, 56 for strikes. A run and 5 base hits in 6 innings. So Alex Wood batting for himself in this 1-0 game. Takes a strike. It's 0-1. Struck out twice tonight.
He's pushing up against some Dodger highs for himself. Innings pitched, the most he's gone is 6 1/3, and he has not had an outing where he has gone scoreless. So he's got a chance to surpass both those.
Only 1 runner in scoring position for the Padres tonight. And Wood is down on strikes for the 3rd time, first out of the 7th. Time now for a look at the Dodger calendar, brought to you by 76. We know for sure that Brett Anderson will be facing Andrew Kashner on Sunday afternoon. Then when the Dodgers play the Angels on Monday and Tuesday, Kershaw and Greinke will have at it. Wednesday, they're still not sure who will pitch against the Angels. Thursday, an off day next weekend, the Dodgers will be in Phoenix. Jimmy Rollins 0 for 3 tonight, takes a strike. It's 0-1. Rollins, a 4-game hitting streak. Takes inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. "17 runs, 22 hits on Thursday night, 12 runs, 14 hits last night, 1 run, 8 hits between these two teams tonight." "1-1 to Jimmy Rollins. The 6, 7, 8 hitters are going to bat for the Padres in the 7th. Myers, Hedges, and Barmes. And so by Wood batting for himself here in the top half. All signs point to him pitching in the bottom half. Rollins down on strikes. Quackenbush strikes out the first 2 batters of the 7th. Now Chase Utley stepping in. Utley tonight 1 for 3. Single to center, line to center, and fly to center. Kevin Quackenbush, 6'4", 220. He's from Florida. 8th round pick in 2011. And Alex Wood, pitching a 3-hitter through 6.
Remember the last time Alex Wood pitched and they went to take him out and he was arguing with Don Mattingly to leave him in. He's got his wish right now, getting to hit this inning and going back out there.
1-1 to Utley. Lines up, base hit into left center field. Utley going to take the big turn on his way to second base, and he will make it. Utley is 2 for 4, and he is such a good base runner.
Well, he was thinking, too, right out of the box. And then he recognized that they got to the ball as he got to first base. And then he noticed that it wasn't fielded cleanly out there by Upton. And by that little bobble, then he takes advantage of it and goes to second base. See that little stutter? Notices that. Head up, watching the play in front of him. Gets the extra base.
His 17th double. And his 5th with the Dodgers. They're going to walk Adrian Gonzalez and prefer to deal with the slumping Justin Turner. The one thing that's most encouraging in watching Utley play, of course he missed more than half the season with a badly sprained ankle that he suffered over the winter when he accidentally stepped on a ball. He's showing no ill effects of the ankle being a problem anymore.
We talked about Justin Turner coming up, a slumping Justin Turner. There are different times where you're looking for when you're slumping to get you out of it. And we talked about that with Yasmani and the different moments. Well, here's one of those two sometimes that get you out of it, is when they intentionally walk somebody right in front of you.
Get you a little angry, huh?
It does.
Dodgers tonight 1 for 8 with runners in scoring position. They were 0 for 7 last night. But the 5 home runs made things a little bit better. Up and in, 1 ball, no strikes to Turner.
You're not talking from personal experience because nobody intentionally walked to get to you.
Oh, they have. When you're slumping, they notice it. They don't, and you get intended. You get fired up.
So they intentionally walk who to get to you, Manny?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember who. Well, it didn't matter. You really think I cared who they walked to get me? Just that they did it.
2 balls and no strikes to Turner, with Ethier on deck. So the 2-out double for Utley. Gonzalez intentionally walked. 2-0 to Turner. 2-1. Turner is 0 for 3 tonight and 11 for his last 68. Down to 289. 2-1 with 2 out. 2-2. Chris Conroy, who hasn't won any friends with the Dodgers this weekend, hearing it from Justin Turner. Conroy, the home plate umpire in his second full-time season. He's out of Boston, and he is 41. And has some firm beliefs. 2-2. Off to the right and out of play.
There are rules and then there are beliefs. You better follow the rules when you're an umpire.
Well, right now, his beliefs don't follow the rules. So I'm just wondering how he's still umpiring.
Told Mattingly the other night, I don't believe in the neighborhood play. Here's a 2-2. Foul back and out of play.
Even Mr. Rogers believed it was a beautiful day in the neighborhood.
Ethier is on deck. Utley at second. Gonzalez at first. Big moment of the game here. Dodgers with a 1-0 lead, looking for a little insurance. The 2-2. Turner is struck out. And he isn't finished with Conroy either. No runs, 1 hit, 1 walk, 2 left. The 7th inning stretch. Wood and the Dodgers 1-0. Night fireworks come on out September 18th and take your place on the field for a fireworks show featuring a salute to Frank Sinatra. For more information, go to Dodgers.com/promotions. So Alex Wood venturing into the 7th. Will Myers takes outside, 1 ball and no strikes. Myers tonight has flied to right and he has walked. Rolls it foul and it's 1-1.
Little 1-0 breaking ball right there from Alex Wood has served him well, and some of these right-handed hitters to get back into the count. Fall behind 1-0, but able to throw that breaking ball in there just keeps them off of you just enough.
With Hatcher warming up, Wood 6 1/3 is as deep as he's gone into a game since coming to the Dodgers. Went 7 innings against Washington, 7 1/3 against the Pirates when still with the Braves. The 85th pitch of the night is outside. 3-1. Wood threw 102 pitches in 6 innings in his last start last Sunday against the Cubs. And a leadoff walk.
Those 2 last misses are a little bit of fatigue, where your body, you want to try harder because you're a little tired, but then your body rushes and your arm can't catch up, so you end up high to the arm side.
Three walks, 3 strikeouts for Alex Wood. Austin Hedges 0 for 2. Bunts it in front of the plate. Randolph quickly out to get it. Sacrifice. Myers goes to second. Tying run, scoring position, 1 out.
Good job, Hedges.
Hatcher continues to warm in the Dodger pen. Clint Barmes is 0 for 2.
And it's looking like Alex Wood has earned the confidence of his manager. He's not going to the pen.
The pitcher's spot on deck, Quackenbush, but nobody's in the circle as yet. Barmes has bounced to third. And back to the pitcher. Melvin Upton Jr. has just stepped out. One 0 Dodgers, tying run at second base. 1 out, bottom of the 7th. Barmes fouls it back.
You know you have a right-hander behind you in the bullpen. You know you're in a 1-0 game with first base open, and you can see who the possible pinch hitter is. You have to make pitchers pitches on every pitch, no matter what the count is here.
Barmes in the bigs for 11 seasons, came up with the Rockies. Here's the 0-1. No balls and 2 strikes.
You don't have to throw a strike for 3 pitches here, and really all 4, even if you end up walking them. You want to throw borderline strikes and balls that are off the edge of the plate. Make them look like a strike, end up a ball.
Just like that last pitch. That was a really good pitch.
The first 2, he's gone down and in, breaking ball, both of them.
Barmes at 249. He's a 246 career hitter. And the 0-2. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Randall will throw to first to complete the strikeout. That was a big one. There's 2 out. 4th strikeout of the game for Alex Wood.
3 breaking balls down and in. Yasmani Grandal telling Chris Conroy behind the plate after the strikeout that he tagged him on the heel of his foot. Conroy made Yasmani complete the out at first base. 3 real good pitches from Alex Wood, and rewarded Don Mattingly for his confidence in him. But here comes Rick Honeycutt, maybe just to talk about Melvin Upton since he hasn't been in the lineup.
I think this is also a big one too, because we talked about Solarte, who's on deck, and how well he's been swinging the bat against the Dodgers this series.
Melvin Upton Jr. this year 11 for 29 with runners in scoring position, 379. Of course, he came over with Kimbrel in the trade from Atlanta. Wasn't doing much there, but in his last 12 games, 276.
He's a pretty good low ball hitter, and that's the ball that he kind of golfs out. You can beat him with a fastball up, but that's not Alex Wood's game. If you're going to throw those breaking balls down and in like you did last year, you've got to make sure you get him in there for a ball. You don't want to leave him over the middle of the plate.
2 out. Myers a tying run at second. Wood delivers. Outside, 1 ball and no strikes. One nothing Dodgers, 2 out in the 7th. Two balls and no strikes.
They're trying to keep the ball away from him. They went fastball away, just missed, and that was a changeup that they were trying to keep away, but pulled it a little bit. Upton has a tendency to pull off the ball, and so if you pitch him in, you could be pitching him right into his swing.
Upton to the bigs nearly 10 years, came up with the Tampa Bay Rays. They were the Devil Rays in those days. The 2-0. 3 balls and no strikes. Giants with a 7-3 lead in Colorado in the 8th. The Rockies are batting. 3-0 to Upton. Myers leads from second. And a strike on the outside corner. 3-1. A changeup at 81.
Don't give in now. You've pitched a great game. You've got first base open. You've got 2 hitters. I know Solarte's on deck, but you don't want to throw a cookie here. Still try and make a good pitch.
Upton has 5 home runs on the years, knocked in 16. He signed that big free agent deal in Atlanta, and the first 2 years there was a complete bust. Hit under 200 in 2013 and barely over 200 in 2014. The 3-1. Inside and low. Ball 4. First and second, 2 out. 4th walk given up by Wood. Solarte coming up. He's a switch hitter. Honeycutt wants to make sure that Hatcher is ready. Solarte, 242 as a right-handed hitter, 276 as a left-handed hitter. And they're going to stay with Alex Wood, preferring that Solarte bat for the right side. Solarte 2 for 3.
Alex Wood has a lot of confidence in his down in and breaking ball to the right-handed hitter. That's where he's gotten his outs. The fastball has been high and away in this inning. The changeup has been pulled, but the breaking ball has been his highest quality pitch. As far as batting average against, the league's hitting .355 off his changeup, .290 off his fastball, and only .212 off his curveball.
Solarte in the series is 6 for 10, 1 for 3 tonight, 1 for 2, 2 walks and a run scored last night, 4 hits, couple of doubles and a home run on Thursday night. So he has been hot. Outside, 1 ball, no strikes. Wood tonight. First pitch strikes, 12 for 28. So he's been working behind as he is now. Myers at second. Upton at first. Fly ball, right field. Retreating is Ethier. He's there, he's got it, and Wood gets out of it. No runs, 2 walks, 2 left. We'll go to the 8th with Ethier, Crawford, and Grandal coming up. Wood and the Dodgers leading 1-0. Knocking in Ethier with a double. That was back in the 4th inning. Ethier 3 for 3. And Alex Wood, no runs, 3 hits, 4 walks, 4 strikeouts, and gets out of a nasty piece of business in the bottom half of the 7th inning. And getting congratulations from Clayton Kershaw and Chase Utley. Will he pitch the 8th? That is the DraftKings game summary you just had a look at. And Ethier will be leading it off against Joaquin Benoit. In his 60th appearance. He's had quite a year. Well, they've sold the joint out tonight, 43,536. And here's Ethier, who's 3 for 3. Takes high, 1 ball, no strikes.
That 3 for 3, Charlie, gets him to the 300 mark. Only Dodger with a 3 in his batting average there at the beginning.
He's just been so solid all year. Made a terrific defensive play, robbing Hedges of a base hit back in the 2nd inning. He's doubled in the 2nd, doubled in the 4th, singled in the 6th, and scored the Dodgers' only run. 300 for Ethier. And it's now 3-0. Ethier in point of service, longest tenured Dodger at the moment, and he is closing in on Garvey for the all-time doubles lead. And a 4-pitch walk to Ethier, who has been on base all 4 times tonight. A leadoff walk.
I'll tell you, a tremendous job by Andre Ethier, because he's led off the inning all 4 times he's come up to the plate and has done his job.
After Ethier's first double in the second, Crawford would strike out. After Ethier's second double in the fourth, Crawford would double him home, the only run of the game. And after Ethier's single in the sixth, Crawford would bounce out. Now Carl takes a strike, 0-1. So the Dodgers have had 4 leadoff base runners tonight, and all of them are standing at first base. 3 hits and a walk for Ethier. Leading off first. And Crawford with a line drive into right field is going to drop in front of Kemp for a base hit. Ethier couldn't tell whether Kemp was going to catch it, and Kemp couldn't tell whether he was going to catch it.
And that ball was hit so hard, Andre had to freeze about halfway, and then because it was hit so hard, Kemp had a chance at Ethier at second, and Ethier had to recognize that and had to go in hard, sliding to second base. Andre right here, seeing that he freezes, and then knowing that, okay, Kemp was going to come up, maybe a chance, and he has to go in hard. Watch how hard he has to slide into second base here.
So the Dodgers are in business now, first and second, and nobody out. And Yasmani Grandal, it's been about 3 weeks since he's last had a hit. Takes a strike, 0-1. So Grandal getting some instruction from Ron Renicky. Grandal hasn't had a hit in his last 32 at-bats. Tonight, he's been hit by a pitch, sacrificed, and bounced out. Now Grandal squares and bunts it in the air. And things aren't going well for Grandal.
Squares around, gets the barrel of the bat up. Just the ball is above the barrel of the bat. He didn't drop the barrel. He just misread it with his eyes.
As a hitter, when you're slumping, when it rains, it pours.
Now Jock Peterson coming up. Grandal had 1 sacrifice all year. Peterson 0 for 2. Seager on deck to pinch hit. And another slumping Dodger, Peterson. 2 walks and a ground out tonight. Jock hitting 157 since the All-Star break. Ethier had the leadoff walk. Crawford lined to right for a base hit. Now the 0-1 to Peterson. One and one. So the Dodgers looking for some insurance. Hoping to make it a little easier for Alex Wood to get the win. 1-0. 2 on, 1 out in the 8th. Ethier and Crawford the runners. Looped into short left field. It drops in front of Upton. On his way home is Ethier. He'll score. The throw goes over the head of Hedges. The Dodgers take a 2-1 lead.
I'll tell you, that was an incredible read by Andre Ethier. He did not hesitate. That was a ball that was shallow left field. And he took off, recognizing ahead of time where Upton is playing, where the ball's going to land. Not an easy read, but watch Andre right here. He just starts taking off. He knows it's going to be a close play at home plate as Upton's charging that ball out there in left field. And just great job by Andre.
Ethier with a look over his shoulder, and then Renicky with his arms flailing.
Tremendous game he's had. Wow.
2 hits. He scored both runs. Made a great catch, robbing Hedges of a base hit. Andre Ethier, a big night. Peterson with the RBI. And here is Corey Seager. Who is merely 4 for 9. First and second. Breaking ball, jelly legs him for a strike. Andre Ethier hurt himself on Wednesday fouling a ball off his knee. Comes back with a vengeance tonight. Crawford at second, Peterson at first, good speed. Benoit to Seager, high and in. Seager 9 at-bats, 2 doubles, 3 runs batted in, and 2 runs scored. One ball, 1 strike. Going for the downs, 1 and 2. Joaquin Benoit is 38. Seager is 21. Nearly twice his age.
Young man showing a lot of poise. Doesn't seem like anything phases him.
A walk, a couple of singles, a run is in. The Dodgers 2-0 in the top of the 8th. Benoit to Seager on 1 and 2. Way outside, 2 and 2.
Alex Wood's night is done, and he has had an exceptional night. 7 scoreless, only gives up 3 hits.
2 balls and 2 strikes. Benoit to Corey Seager. Fouled off to the left and out of play. Seager's folks are here spending the weekend watching their young son in his major league debut. Jeff and Jody. Again on 2 and 2, the 18th pitch of the inning for Benoit. The pitch to Corey Seager. Swung on. He just gets a piece of it.
That's a really good foul off right there. That's an excellent changeup from Benoit. Bottom just dropped out of it. He took the speed off of it, but he's able just to hang on by foul tipping it.
This will be the 8th pitch of this at bat. That's Crawford and Peterson on the bases. Jimmy Rollins on deck. Two balls and 2 strikes to Corey Seager. Fly ball left field. In and over toward the line is Upton. That's a second out of the 8th. Rollins 0 for 4 tonight. His 4-game hitting streak is on the line. At .222 with 13 home runs, Rollins has struggled all year with runners in scoring position. Hitting .149. With a fly ball to right field. Got under it. Just got under it. And there in right field is Kemp to make the play, and that'll end the inning. No runs, correction, 1 run, 2 hits, and 2 men left. We'll go to the bottom half of the 8th inning. Dodgers 2 and the Padres nothing. Chris Hatcher now on in relief. Alex Wood's night is done. He went 7 innings. No runs and 3 hits. 4 walks, 4 strikeouts. 97 pitches, 54 for strikes. And now it is Chris Hatcher's turn, making his 37th appearance of the year. Hatcher pitched an inning last night, gave up a run and 2 base hits. A home run to Brett Wallace. Jed Jerko to hit in the bottom half of the 8th inning. And he takes a strike, 0-1. It's final in Colorado. The Giants beat the Rockies tonight 7-3. So the Dodger lead at the moment is 7. One ball, 1 strike. Rick Honeycutt on the bullpen phone with Chuck Krim. Jerko, 96 upstairs, comes up empty, 1-2.
It looked like Rick Honeycutt was talking not only who to possibly get up, but what matchups they were looking at, when to have somebody ready by when.
Well, nobody's tossing yet. The 1-2 upstairs. 2 balls and 2 strikes. The heart of the Padre order here: Jerko, Kemp, and Upton. Luis Avilan is now going to start work. And a fly ball into right center. Ethier is there. That's the first out of the 8th. The most popular way to follow the Dodgers push to the postseason, is with MLB.com at bat, the #1 app for live baseball. Enjoy live look-ins, highlights, replay reviews, scores, StatCast, live radio broadcasts, and so much more. Get MLB.com at bat right now. Matt Kemp, 2 for 3 tonight. Kemp at 268. 2 hits and got himself picked off as well. Takes a strike. It's 0-1. Dodgers with runs in the 4th and the 8th. 2-0. Hatcher missing outside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
That pickoff of Matt Kemp was huge. It really took San Diego out of the game at that point. You had the second leading RBI guy at the plate, Upton, the 3-2 count. Alex Wood kind of on the ropes with no out. And all of a sudden you get picked off first.
And then Upton would be called out on strikes right after the pickoff.
It seemed like it just energized Alex Wood.
Yeah.
And to come back out there in the 7th.
A couple pitches later, he's out of the inning.
Yep.
1-2 to Upton. Upton's on deck. 1-2 to Kemp. Into right. Ethier over. Two out and nobody on. Now here's Upton, who's grounded out, walked, and struck out. 2 runs, 8 hits for the Dodgers. They've left 11 men on base. Padres, no runs, 3 hits, no errors. They've left 7. In the 9th, the Dodgers will have Utley, Gonzalez, and Turner coming up. No sign yet of Kenley Jansen, only Avalon in the Dodger pen. Did he go around? Yep. First base umpire, the crew chief, Ted Barrett. 1-1. Upton at the moment is at 255. A lot of space for him in left center field. Slider that kind of froze him. It's 1-2. With 2 out of the bottom half of the 8th. Hatcher strikes him out and retires the Padres in order in the 8th inning. We'll go to the 9th. Utley, Gonzalez, Turner coming up. Dodgers 2, San Diego 0. of the game. Tweet your photo with the hashtag SNLA Data Strong Fan for a chance to be shown in an upcoming telecast. Brought to you by T-Mobile. Bud Norris. The pitch against the Dodgers here in the ninth. Norris, his 12th appearance. And he'll be facing Chase Utley. A single and a double. Robbed of a hit on a scorching line drive to center back in the third inning. Will Myers made a terrific catch on him. Adrian Gonzalez, Justin Turner, and the star of the game for the Dodgers, Andre Ethier, if anybody gets aboard. Well, Kenley Jansen is now going to work in the Dodger bullpen. No balls and 2 strikes to Chase Utley. Dodgers trying to nail down their 19th shutout of the year. Inside, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Alex Wood turning in his best outing as a Dodger. We'd said he had gone all the way from 5 innings to 6 1/3, and anywhere from 4 earned runs down to 1 earned run. No scoreless outings, so he got one tonight and went 7.
Utley down on strikes, first out of the 9th inning.
We go back to the beginning of the broadcast. We talked about Alex Wood having an opportunity to cementing himself as the 4th starter in this rotation. I think he really went a long way tonight. Don Mattingly showed a lot of confidence in him. Let him hit and then let him go out in the 7th and let him pitch through the 7th even though he was in a jam.
Now Adrian Gonzalez. Gonzalez 0 for 3 and a walk. Wood struck out 4, walked 4 in 7 innings. Two balls and no strikes. Gonzalez has bounced to first twice, popped to third, and was intentionally walked. Derek Norris, Will Myers, and Austin Hedges will bat for the Padres in the bottom of the 9th. Norris misses way outside. So Norris strikes out Utley and walks Gonzalez. That'll bring Turner to the plate. Turner tonight 0 for 4.
You notice anything different with his swing, Nomar, at all? Or just hard getting back in the rhythm after being out with that leg?
It looks more about the rhythm.
Has not been the same since coming off the disabled list 20 games ago with that staph infection. So Derek Norris, or rather Bud Norris, and Austin Hedges getting together.
You know, when I'm watching Justin Turner, it's not major, it's slight, because he's fouling pitches off. He's not, you know, and that's what's getting him in those counts. So it's not like he's just totally missing and looks completely lost up there. So it's really just that slight adjustment, and sometimes when you've been off and you come back and obviously for Justin, it may be just that one hit or two, and then you're going, okay, I found it. I'm back on my timing. I know what it is that's going to keep me locked in again.
1-1. Slowly hit to second base. There is one, and that's all they're going to get. Gonzalez with a hard throw, preventing a throw back. And Andre Ethier coming up. Quite a night for Andre Ethier. 3 for 3. Has scored both runs and made a sensational catch. His first game back after fouling one off his knee on Wednesday.
And that was quite a second run that he scored when the blue pit from Jock Peterson.
So he's done it all today, from the bat, offensively and defensively, making great plays in the outfield. He's done it at the plate, he's done it on the bases, and he's done it on the field.
Much is expected of Ethier down the stretch. Hitting .300. Puig is not expected back before the playoffs. Outside. 1-1. Kike Hernandez is an iffy proposition from now to the finish line. Howie Kendrick due back sooner rather than later, but precisely when they're not saying. I'm not sure they're even guessing.
It seems like the reports we've gotten on Howie is that once he got up to about 80%, when he could feel comfortable enough to really go for it 100%, it kind of hit a wall.
Throw down to first base. And turn almost picked off. That was quite a throw. Benito Santiago style. What back here?
Yeah, Benito could throw from his knees very well. Yadier Molina in today's game does that very well, and
the throw beat him.
Yeah.
Derek Norris was closer to first base and able to reach Justin Turner. He gets him.
2 balls and 2 strikes to Andre Ethier. If memory serves, Benito Santiago was the first guy to do that. He threw from his knees, and people said, what is that all about?
And then when he was throwing people out, they're like, oh, that's what it's all about. He can.
Ethier down on strikes. That will end the inning. So Kenley Jansen coming on. And Jansen in search of his 29th save. Facing Norris, Myers, and Hedges in the bottom of the ninth. Flex Alert. This summer, the power is in your hands. Flex Alert. And by the Acura It's That Kind of Summer event. So there's Kenley Jansen in search of his 29th save of the year. 28 out of 30, 66 strikeouts in 40 2/3. Dodgers in search of their 19th shutout of the year, which would lead the major leagues in that category. So Jansen will be facing Derek Norris, Will Myers, and Austin Hedges.
Kenley pitched last night, and it was important for him to be efficient, and he only threw 9 pitches last night, 8 strikes, so he is finely tuned for this 9th.
Well, that would be efficient. Derek Norris leading it off. The Dodgers a big insurance run in the 8th, 2-0. Jansen delivers a strike, and it's 0-1. That fastball at 90. Seems to take about a half a dozen pitches for Jansen to start putting the gas onto the gas pedal. That was 91, and it's now 0-2.
He has at points in his career taken some time to kind of get into the outing, and when you've got a 1-run lead or a 2-run lead, you don't want to take too long.
Norris 0 for 3 tonight. The count is 0-2. Swung. Ooh. 1-2.
Good pitch.
A little inside. Boy, it looked good.
Just inside. Bottom of the 9th. Dodgers in search of their 77th win. After tonight, 27 games are left. The 1-2. First down of the 9th.
Kenley broke the slider out last night, and that's what that was right there. That's not a big cutter at 82. That's the slider, and I'll tell you what, this pitch is devastating. He's starting to get more and more confidence in it as he gets into September now, and hopefully October. That is going to be an outstanding weapon for him.
It's such a good pitch when, as a hitter, you know he's throwing hard. You know he's got the cutter. But now you're putting it in the minds of the hitter that you also have confidence in the slider. And the slider at times looks like it's the same spin coming out of his hand. So you got the cutter that breaks a certain amount, and then the slider that breaks even more.
Will Myers is the hitter. 0-1. Myers tonight has flied to right and walked twice.
Kenley with that slow, easy delivery, and then the ball just jumps out of his hand anywhere from 90 to about 94, 95 miles an hour. And as tall as he is and as far as he reaches out, the relative velocity of the hitter is extremely higher than the radar gun will tell you.
0-1 to Myers. 1 ball, 1 strike.
That 93 from Kenley's probably feels like about 96, 97 to the hitter.
Two runs, 8 hits for the Dodgers. No runs, 3 hits for the Padres. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Bottom of the 9th. Myers pops it up into right field. Should be an easy play for Ethier, and now there are 2 out. Corey Spangenberg's going to come up and pinch hit for Austin Hedges. Murphy's club down to their final out. Spangenberg, not much of a power hitter, has good speed. Two out in the 9th. Under the knees and through the wickets. 1 ball and no strikes to Corey Spangenberg. Brett Wallace in the on-deck circle. Spangenberg takes a strike. 1-1. Jansen has struck out now 67 and walked only 5 all year. 1 ball, 1 strike, and 2 out. Grounded slowly to second base. Utley has it, flips to first. The Dodgers win it and shut out the San Diego Padres 2-0. They whittle the magic number down to 20 as the Dodgers record their major league leading 19th shutout of the year. Wood wins his 10th. Jansen saves his 28th. The Dodgers maintain their 7.5 game lead on the Giants. And now it's time for the Lexus Players of the Game. It begins with the pitching and Alex Wood. 7 innings, no runs and 3 hits. He walked 4, struck out 4, 97 pitches, 54 for strikes, winning his 10th.